Hi all. First thing, apologies for not looking at the camera, which I'm looking now, but I won't be later, so I'm sorry about that. Never can get used to looking at the camera. Right, so what am I doing today? New rig. It's called Brahma 3D Vision. You know I like to have names, it gives me something to do. So I've been experimenting, and I'm quite happy with this now. The design of the rig may change. I'm not sure yet. I mean, we'll see. But basically, the actual how it works isn't going to change. So what I'm going to show you today is I'm going to show you all about this rig. I'm going to show you some samples. I'm going to point you to some samples, but I'm also going to show you how you do the stitching of stereo. Okay, which is an interesting subject, and I think there's been these have been done elsewhere, but I'm going to show you how to do it. I think it might be a useful thing, and this is aimed really, if anyone buys this, then I can pass them over to this video. So I'm going to I'm not going to go waffle on too much if I can help it. So I'm on my site. If you look to the right here, you may, no you won't, yes you will see 993 likes. Nearly 1,000, and again, massive thanks to everyone who buys the rigs, everyone who buys the complete systems, because they help even more, and pay for my kit. I mean, that's the main thing, it pays for my kit. But also the nice messages, as I said before, and hopefully I won't encourage people, but I never have bad messages. No, I don't ever get anyone, you know, moaning, call me a knob, that kind of thing. Well, except my mates. So it's been really good, this, and as most of you know, this is kind of a paid for hobby, so it's almost like a part-time thing, but it's, you know, evenings and weekends, that kind of thing. So but it pays for my kit, which is really good. So I do these, I put a little bit on top of the costs, or I sell them complete, and it pays for my new laptop, pays for my computer, buys the cameras, so it actually works out really well. For the 1,000, I did actually have, I ran a competition. I'm doing a new rig, and I thought, well, I'll put the, in fact, I'll see if I can find it on the screen here. See, oh, here you go, look, click on that, right? So I put the competition, I said, if you can guess what this is, you can have one for free, okay? I thought no one's going to get this. I mean, I've had, you know, tennis rackets for sound tools. Oh, I don't know, loads of stuff. But and I thought, well, you know, this at least lasts for a while. An hour. No one else got it. Funny enough, one person got it, and what it's for is this. Now, this is going to be a prototype, and this is going to take ages to arrive. And the idea is this bit in the middle is a waterproof. No, sorry, no, it's a rubber print. So it goes between these, okay, which are these the domes. You get two of them. The idea is it holds a duet, okay, in place. The lens is centered. It goes underwater. So if you remember rightly, I tried this once before, made a pig's ear of it. So this time it's another experiment. So I'll chuck a couple of cameras in the bath and see if I destroy them. Anyway, that's just a bit of fun. So I think what we'll do is we're going to have to think of another competition. Well, it's not really a competition. I'm not going to give anything away for this. If you want to do something for me, can you see this? I really like bonsai trees, and my wife bought me a bonsai tree. And it's a Chinese elm. So if there's anyone out there Chinese who knows any Chinese names, preferably female, I don't really call it, you know, a guy. I don't really sit there calling it a guy. Nice names, I thought Mako or something like that. But if you can think of a name for my tree, send me a message. And if there's any interest in anything, I'll think of something I can give as a prize. But that's really just to say thank you for the nearly 1,000, 993. So in the next few days, I'm hoping that's going to tip over. Right, anyway, as I said, I wouldn't waffle, and I did. Right, let's get on with this. So, what we've got here, let me pull this forward a bit. What we've got now is, I'm going to switch screens. You've obviously seen the pictures, as you can see on the screen. And also you can see here, but I'm going to zoom into this in a minute. Let me just zoom into it now. There we go. So what we got here is, this is the 3D Brahma 3D vision, and it's just literally just 3 pairs of Git2 cameras with 220 lenses, okay, around a sphere. Sorry, not a sphere, around a triangle. Okay, I mean it's pretty obvious what that is, yeah. So you can see that, and also with these, same on the just so you know, Brahma 6s all come with the same remote control now. Okay, so every single one comes with remote control. So here's the remote control. Now I've got a 3D printed case to go over that, and it's going to be tidied up and all the cables will be hidden away, so it'll be nice and neat, but you actually get buttons. So basically this connects to all the cameras, and this is where I might do some changes, just tidy it up a little bit. But basically you turn it on by press the right hand button, well, once they're all turned on. Okay, in fact we'll try this. Let's give it a try. Right, so this isn't going to be a full demo. Now I am probably going to upgrade my firmware as well, because I've got a funny feeling that the start function doesn't always start reliably, so I think it's just a firmware upgrade I need. Anyway, so if you can see that now, so basically let's see if we can see, is it? Okay, you can see some. If I press that button, yeah, as you can see, this one didn't do it. So let's try that again. It's worth, make sure you look around, obviously. Okay, there you go. Yep, okay. Right, so basically now the key thing is it's not gen locked. Okay, this is not gen locked, so they don't all start exactly the same, but I'm going to show you it's only like a few milliseconds between them. So I'm going to show you this, and so obviously when you do this, once you've started it, let me just stop them. You need to do your clap. I won't do it too loud. Do your clap over the top, and then so we can synchronize to that. Right? So that's the rig. So obviously once you've done your recording, you then grab yourself a cable, and what I do is I start off with, right, so we call it cam 1 left, cam 1 right, go round, cam 1 left, cam 2 left, cam 2 right, cam 3 left, cam 3 right. Okay, so that's how I do it, and I name them all. Right, so let me just come back onto the other screen now, back to here. So I've got my files, we transfer them to the computer, okay, and so they're in there. If you make sure you do your naming system, it's a good idea to do it. Maybe one day I'll try and do a toolkit to bring them all in. It's just time, but it's not complicated. So it's just, you know, most people are doing one clip. So just remember, I mean, just name them as you come off. I mean, I've seen people putting stickers on it with the numbers on it. So which is quite a good way of doing it. Right, once you've got that, now let me load up this. I'm going to show you. Here we go. Right, so I'm going to load up AVP now. All right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how we stitch these together. Now also I'm going to shrink me down a little bit so you can see plenty of this. Now this is important because this is how to do stereo with 6 cameras, okay? Bearing in mind I've named them left, right, left, right, left, right, okay? Camera 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's very important. Now I do have, which I will put in here. Now you see I've already done that. Now the video, you didn't actually see the video, but if I click on here, take it back to this screen here. Just so you know, my Facebook page, Brahma 360, Brahma 360, do a search on that, or VR experience. That brings you to here. If you want to like it and you haven't already, I'd appreciate it because I'd like to get over to 1,000. The next one, my website, www.brahma360.com. Now the ordering information is not on the site yet, okay? It's coming. It will be up here soon. It'll be a stereo. I'm going to do a panel with stereo recording. The others are still there. We're still doing them. And further down, you can see here's the Yi 4K. All these bottom 3 you order from Shapeways. These ones above you can order from us, but we also now allow you to order just the rigs. Okay, so you'll be able to order just the rigs if you want to build your own rigs and get your own cameras and save yourself some money, because obviously I put a markup on the cameras. Okay, so but just to get to basically what you got then is what you're getting now. This, I haven't finalized the price. It's going to be between 1200 and 1250. It's more likely going to be 1250. I think it's going to have to be that, and the reason is this: you got 6 Git2 cameras, £100 each. You've got 6 lenses, which are £50 each, and then you've got the rig and all the extra bits and pieces. So there's a fair old chunk there. So we don't make a huge amount out of it, but we try and give. Oh, and the memory cards. It comes with 16 gig memory cards. Okay, but it does come with this little controller, which is quite useful. And I will also include the cover. Basically, we made a nice little 3D printed cover with buttons on it, which are a bit easier than pressing these things, and also protect it a little bit. Right. So that's them, and what they do is they go into the HDMI plug-in, okay, and then it needs 1.5 firmware or later, okay, so it senses it and then it starts the camera. As I said, it's not gen locked, but it's very close, but it's not perfect, okay, and you can see that when it was flashing and so on. In fact, let me just turn these off. I don't know why I'm worried. Actually, I could just leave them on, couldn't I? I'll turn them off, save battery, even though I could charge them. I don't know why I do this. Right. Okay. So now let's jump into. Oh yeah, the YouTube. So my YouTube channel is linked from the website and so on. And you can see this is the introduction of the. Now this is a stereo video I record. Everyone knows I record in the conservatory. Now the lighting was actually pretty poor. I wanted to do it this morning and the lighting wasn't particularly good. So you can see I've turned the lights on and I've got a light here on me. So the lights, it's a bit low, the light, but you can see it. And also if you go a bit further on, let me see if I should have gone a lot further on. We went out yesterday just for an afternoon and filmed a canal boat. So that was quite nice. If I could see it, if we're going to get to it. There you go. So we filmed this canal boat and it's all in stereo. Okay, so if you look at it, I actually use a pair of these. These are fantastic. These are really good. I'm going to see if I can get a hold of some of them and include them with the kits, because you just get your mobile phone. Because the only thing at the moment really plays it well, because on my mobile phone it plays really well for YouTube, funnily enough, with this. I have trouble with all the other kits. So I can play with my GoPro. I actually use GoPro VR Player, because I output it in very high resolution. The reason is this is output as 4096 by 4096, because there's two videos, one on top of each other, and they're quite big and it's quite complex, and I'll come to that. But anyway, so you can see it's on there. Go and have a look at that. There will be a link. Right, so the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to load these videos in. I've already probably been waffling forever, but let's get on with it. So right, let's do the intro, okay? So what we got here, now I've already done this previously, but I'm just going to show you what we do. So I'm going to grab all my videos. Now there's 6 videos. You can see the naming convention, okay, which I've already explained. I'll pop that into there. Okay, let's open that. Now, the first thing we need to do, what I always do is I move away from the bit where I'm up close when you're going to stitch, in case I forget that. Because sometimes you have to close it down again and restart it again. It'll stitch when you reload it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to do sync. So I'm going to click on the sync. Now I know that I did a clap within about 5 seconds, so I'm going to use audio to synchronize. Okay. Now I'm not going to actually render this. Now can you see this? Can you see the numbers? Nearest frame 5511. So basically, there's a couple here that actually was started quite late, but basically they're all fairly close. They're not too bad at all actually. But you could pull them in with this. Use this to pull them in completely accurate if you wanted to. But it's done it now, so I just do apply. Okay, so they're now pretty much synced. Now here's the crucial bit. You need to click on the stereo button at the top here, and then tick the box to say I'm doing a stereo recording. Right, now you can see my files are now this is where the naming convention comes in. See, cam 1 left and right, cam 2 left and right. All I'm going to do is I'm going to switch each one of these to left or right only accordingly. Okay? right only. Now importantly, see at the bottom here, over under. Now this is how I do it. If you want to do it a different way, that's completely up to you. But this is how I do it. So now what it's done is I've now got all 6 assigned left and right. Now I'm hoping, because I'm using XSplit and it's using my GPU as well, I'm hoping this won't upset XSplit. If you see a stop and then a join, that's because XSplit, either XSplit or this. Anyway, let's just do this. Right. So I'm now going to stitch. Click on stitch. Now these are, I'm using the it says Entonai 220s, but I'm using telesins. Now for this test I wanted to show it with telesins, okay, but I do have Entonai's. Now Entonai's give more resolution, okay, and it's a better quality lens, so you get a much better picture. But whether it's, you get about 15-20% more resolution, which is good. The quality side of things is really up to you to decide. I mean, it's a tricky one. I do like my Entonai's, but having said that, I've only got 2, and I did do a test where I put 2 on there, but it stands out. And although I was going to have the back ones as kind of, well, they're behind, it doesn't really matter. It kind of messes things up. So you're either going to have all telesin or all Entonai's. Now, if you put Entonai's on, you're pretty much doubling the price almost, although you wouldn't be paying for telesins. But you're going to go up, I would think, at least another £1,000. So you have to make a decision on that. Right, so I've got that. Now I'm going to press stitch. Remember, you want your current position away from the beginning. You do want it away from the beginning because creating one reference. Here we go. Oh, we get there. Yeah, as I was saying, don't forget. Don't forget. I've got XSplits working as well, so there's a whole lot of stuff going on the GPU here. Right, so let me close some of these down and get rid of that. Now, what you can see here is I've now got my stitch. So if I just stretch that down like that, I've now got to do the usual thing where you just move it around, get it right, and that's pretty much it. Okay, that's now ready. Okay, now if I apply that, now that's an interesting bit. Now this is going to show you the resolution you're going to get. Now, one important thing to bear in mind, these cameras at this resolution, I run them at 2880 by 2160, which is 4K, or yeah, 4K. I run them at that resolution, but there's 24 frames per second. Okay, now you could drop it down to 1440, 1920, 1440, which of course would reduce your output, but that does give a 4K output. Now, so if I now click on render, you will see what it's saying is I've now got if you've never done this before, basically what it's saying is it thinks the output based on all these videos, an output it can do is 3960 by 1980. All right, so that's 1920. No, that's right. Now I'm going to scale this down to 3840 by 1920, which is QHD, Quad HD. Okay. Now, if you'd had Entopano lenses, this would be up to around 4400 by about 2200. Okay, so it gives you more data because of the way it puts it onto the sensor. It gives you more data and it's better quality data. Having said that, I mean, again, this video, I mean, you need to decide whether you want the lenses anyway, but I think the Entopanos are fantastic. If money's not an issue, you get the Entopano lenses. They're amazing. Okay, simple as that. Right. So what I would do now is to keep it as a standard size. I'm going to change this to, I'm going to downscale this to 1920, and you can see it's adjusted here, 3840. Important to set this to 24 if you're in this mode. Okay, if you're doing a different mode and you dropped it down for 30, because these can do 60 frames a second, but you'd be down to like a 1080p. 1920 1080p, but with stereo you get 60 frames a second out of this. Okay, very important to understand that these are actually really good little cameras. Right, so we got that, and 24. Now you want to up the bit rate. I mean, I tend to do it up to about 60 to 80, something like that. But for this, let's say 60. So 60,000 kilobits per second. Choose your camera with the audio source. Obviously, I've got cam 1 left. I know that's the front camera. And then it's ready to go. It's ready to render. Now I'm not going to render this because it's going to upset my recording. But you can see now that's pretty much all there is to it. Now one more thing you can do. You don't need to on here. I mean, the colors on these all look fine. Sometimes if you do an outside shot, if the colors are a little bit all over the place because the lighting is like really bright over there and it's, you know, dull over here or so, you can click on the color blend, and I just tend to say apply, and it just goes and magically corrects it. And you know, you can learn to play with these and adjust them yourselves, but by pressing it, it's like a magic bullet. I'm not going to do it with this because it looks fine. In fact, it doesn't. Well, no, I won't do it because again, I don't want to mess up my my XSplit recording. So that's pretty much it. What else? Is there anything else I could think of while I'm talking about this? In case, because otherwise I'll end up answering all these in the comments. No, I think that's pretty much everything there. As I say, if you are interested, they will be 12.50. I'm pretty damn sure it's going to be 12.50 because of the way it's working out. Well, let's just say if you show an interest before the end of the year, make it 1200, but after that it'll be 12.50 because exchange rates killed me on the last one. So but yeah, hopefully you like that. There's more work to come. I'm gonna, as I said previously, that this was kind of a distraction from the software because I kind of burnt myself out a bit on the software. So over Christmas I might start working on software again and do some changes and so on. At the moment, remember, you need to buy Auto Pano for this. I think that's going to probably stay for a while. But you know, you never know. One day I might extend on my software and make it support these. But again, you know, AVP is a fantastic piece of software. So again, thanks for all those who bought the rigs. I honestly do appreciate it. As you can see, I've got some nice toys here. What is there anything else I can? Oh, if you can think of a name for the tree, doesn't mean I'll use it, but if someone comes up with a nice name, Chinese preferably because it's Chinese elm. That's not because I am aware that it's a Japanese art form, but it's also a Chinese art form. But I think the Japanese have been doing it for quite some time. But yeah, just a nice Oriental name. If anyone comes up with one, if not, it doesn't matter. I'll think of one. But something that sounds nice for a tree. That's it. I can't think of anything else. I think I've waffled on long enough. So I'll just pop back. So remember, if you want to visit my site, that'd be nice. Messages by all means. Again, thanks for all your support. I really greatly appreciate it. And I'll speak to you soon. Right, it seems I forgot a bit. Sorry about this. Yeah, so I forgot a bit at the end. It's actually really important because I spent some time trying to figure this out myself. Now, what do you do when you want to output this? Now, normally, MP4s, and especially H.264, sorry if I'm getting technical, but the maximum resolution is 4096 by 2160. So if I was to click on here, now this is, this one's actually set this way. So let me just switch this to the one you want. So if you was to do this in MP4, let me scroll down. Also, I've noticed some of the quality here is, the video is not particularly brilliant. It's too complicated, but I basically, it's to do with scaling. I've got it scaled and I messed up a little bit. But anyway, it's good enough for you to see this. So anyway, if you can see this panel now, can you see up here where it says maximum size allowed 2160 by 2160? Because I've got 2160, but because what I'm trying to do is, now that's 4096 across there and 2160 halfway, but I'm trying to double it to make 2, which is 4096 by 4096, and it won't have it. So it's only going to let me go 2160. Now, which means if you want to render this out and I say 4096 and I try to do this to full thing at 4K by 4K, it isn't going to do it with MP4, and it's going to then render it out as 2160 by 2160. Now that's remembering, don't forget to set to 24. And you bit right. Excuse me, I'm not going to render it, but I'm just so to remind you. So importantly, what you need to remember is this: that if you want to test this and just do a quick test, 2160 by 2160 is fine because you can have a look at it, make sure it's okay, and your PC will be able to play it, and it'll all be hunky-dory. If you want to actually put this out into the real world and put it up onto YouTube, because now this is something you don't normally have a problem with, but this is to do with stereo. You're going to have a problem with this, because no matter what everyone says to me, oh, I want thousands of resolution. Who's going to play it? Who's going to play this stuff? We still are set to 4K for some time still. Now this is a beast of a machine, but when I output this, it struggles. It struggles to do the 8K, which it actually calls it 8K, even though it's not 8K, but it's because it's going by the vertical resolution. 2 videos, it's 4K down. This machine struggles. But funnily enough, my phone can play it, which is hilarious. So, right, so what we're going to do is to get round this, so that'd be okay for a test, but to get round this, we're going to switch. This is how I do it. There may be better ways. I think if you've got Adobe Premiere, you can output this. And you may have the codecs. You may have an H.265 codec, and whether that's good or bad, I don't know. But I'm going to show you why you can do this with an MP4 codec, and it works. This is with if I'm going to use YouTube. Okay, that's very important to understand. For my workflow, and I put everything on YouTube, so this works for YouTube. And the other demos you see that are linked from here, you'll see they're done this way. So the first thing I do, I select Cineform Movie. Okay, now I choose my rate. Now, if you remember rightly, with the telecines, I was setting it as 3840 by 1920, but I'm going to leave this as it is. So if you can have either. If you did this, you would be scaling up a little bit, which is kind of cheating. So you might want to go down anyway. But let's just say I'm going to leave these up here because that's kind of what it's going to expect. So you got 2160. Well, let's just change it. Let's say, for example, we had the enter panos in. Okay, I can do 2160, right? Now I could do that, and I can output that, right? But what I want to do now is I want to output that, and you can see, if you see the bottom, 4,000, and if I tell you what we're going to do, did I do this? I actually think I did this 4,096. Yeah, I did it 4,096, right? I did it 4,096, and you can see at the bottom now, real output 4,096 by 4,096. Now I know that works. Okay, so render it to that, or lower. If you're going to go lower because of the telescenes, 3840. It's up to you. You can upscale a bit or downscale a bit. It's completely up to you. Right, so we've got that. Now what you would want to do is you want to render that. Now that creates an enormous file. Now, I mean, it seems to be about 15 gigabytes per minute, roughly, which is a huge amount of data. But once you've done that, you've got a very high resolution output, okay? But that's no use to man or beast. You can use the... which is actually a really nice tool. I really like this. Let me just put it over here. I use this tool, GoPro VR Player. Well, I don't feel bad about it because oh no, I don't want you. You don't need that. So I use the VR Player because I've obviously bought Autopano, so I don't feel guilty. So I've got that, and it's a nice player, but it can actually play that very high resolution video file. It does it actually very well. Now I would normally show you, but because, as I said, as you probably know, I've got loads of... I'm actually running XSplit here, and it'll probably get the hump. So output this as that. It'll take forever, okay? Well, no, actually it won't take forever. It'll probably take twice as long, but you're going to use a huge amount of data up. Huge amount. But you can delete it as soon as you're finished. Once you've done that, you've then got this next step. Now, what you got to do is this. This is where I have to remind myself how I do this. I'm going to put this over here so you can see it. Now, you need FFmpeg. FFmpeg, okay? This is how I do it. And I also have FFmpeg in my path, okay? And if you don't know how to do that, now, let's really go start. You don't start, so as if you don't know absolutely anything about it. So can you see I've installed FFmpeg? I've downloaded it and I've installed it here, okay? It's all in there. Yeah. Now, what I'm going to do then is, if I go to properties, I've got to try and remember how to do this. Let me bring this over here. Can you see all this? Go to advanced system settings. Now, I can only show you this from Windows point of view. Environment variables. And if I double click on path, your path, can you see at the bottom? I've added a new one called C program files ffmpeg bin. Yeah. That then means I can do this without putting path to the actual program itself. Right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go find those files. Okay, intro. Now I am going to copy that path. I'm going to come into here and I'm going to type CD and paste in that path of where those files are. Okay. Bring this down a bit so I can see it as well. Now it's quite straightforward. This all you're going to do is you're going to type in ffmpeg I, okay, for input, and whatever the name would be. Let's just say it's called vid1.move. Okay, it won't be when it comes out, but let's just say you've renamed it vid1. That's the massive file. Okay, that's the big one you save, and do it as a movie because I know this works. Okay, I mean you can experiment your heart's content, but this is how I know it works. Do that. Now the next thing you want to do is because it will default the bitrate really low, and you don't want a low bitrate for this. Now for this kind of thing, if you're doing 4,000, right, what I tend to do, which might be overkill, I put 120,000K, okay, which is is it 12 megabit? It's quite a lot. I always get I think it's 12. 120 megabit. It's a lot, okay? But it gives you don't have a problem with data, but it will make it still a lot smaller. So that 50 meg file now 50 gigabyte file will probably end up being about 2.5 gigabytes, okay, which is a lot better. So do that, and then you need the output file. So call it output.mp4, okay? And that's pretty much it. I'll tell you what I will do. I'll just try that. No, if I do this, I'm going to kill my thing. Yeah. So if I'm wrong about this, I will put a message over the top of this and put the correct command in, but I'm pretty sure that's right. So ffmpeg -I for input, the name of the source, which is the big file, then the bit rate. Oh no, I am wrong. Hang on. No. I knew I missed something out. Just before this, you need to. Oh no, there's the cat. Hang on, I'll just get rid of the cat. Oh god, she's put me off now. Okay, so it's -bitrate b :v, yeah, space. So it's, I will, as I said, I will correct if I'm wrong. I'll correct this, but I'm pretty sure that's right. So that's basically going to then convert. Now this takes ages. Okay, it'll probably take about an hour, because it's only using CPU, and if you need a fast CPU for this, it's going to take a long time to do this. There is a way of doing it with using the GPU. I haven't managed to get that working yet. If I do, I'll update this, but at least this works. Okay, that will then convert it. Then the next thing you need to do, once you've got your next file, you then need this program, okay, which is called Spatial Media Metadata Injector. Yeah, I know. Open it up. Okay, let me just pull this over here so we can see all these files opening up. Right, so basically, I'm just going to open one up. I don't even know if I've got one actually, to be fair, but all you're going to do is you're going to go and find that MP4, okay, which was injected is what it's going to get called next. So I'm just going to select that. Make sure that they're both set to spherical and, more importantly, this stereoscopic one, and then inject metadata. And what that'll do is it'll reproduce the file with the data in it that YouTube needs to make it live. Okay. Now, if you try playing at MP4, you may find your machine struggles and doesn't play it very well. It's a bit choppy and it breaks up. When you get it to YouTube, send it up there. It's fine. Don't ask me why. It just works. They must do something to it up there. Anyway, that's it. That was the bit that I missed. So hopefully that's helped. And sorry I missed that actually. But yeah, there you go. All right. Okay. Thanks very much.